Hey there class, welcome back to another one of our videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how you complete a 4-point FFT flow graph. It's going to be very similar to how we do our previous flow graphs in our other videos. So to start off doing a 4-point FFT, we're going to need to break it down into smaller stages. So we're going to have one 4-point stage and another stage that is going to have two 2-points. So, if you refer back to our first video, you'll notice that our inputs for our flow graph here are going to be broken down into the even and the odd components of the signal we're trying to sample. So, and as you noticed, our stage 1 is going to be comprised of two 2-points, and our stage 2 is going to be comprised of one 4-point. Okay? The outputs of our 2 points over here are going to act as the inputs for our 4-point to get our outputs over here that we're looking for. So if we go over here to our equations, if I can find our equations, there we go. It's very similar to our very last video for our stage 1, in which we have 2 points. Our twiddle factors are going to end up with a base of 2, and our top R's are going to be the samples we're trying to find for each of the other two, labeled 0 and 1. So to find our 0 of 1, we're going to have to do a straight addition of x of 0, and then add it with the multiplication of x of 2 with our twiddle factor. And the same will be when we find x of 1. It's going to be a straight map of our x of 2 with our twiddle factor of 1, of 2, of x of 0. So, going back over here, I believe okay, don't know why my writing transferred over to another page, but we'll continue anyways. So, to find our a of 1, we said in our equation it's going to be a straight mapping of x of 0 over to our a of 1. Then we have to add to it x of 2 being mapped over with a twiddle factor w0, 2. That 0 corresponds to this guy because he's the first term we're trying to find, our first sample output we're trying to find. Okay? And now we'll go over to find our A1. It's going to be a straight mapping of x of 2, and then we're going to have to add to it x of 0 with a twiddle factor 1 of 2. And this 1 comes from the fact that we're trying to find the second term of our 2-point. So that's one of our 2 points in our first stage. The second one's done exactly the same way. So I'm going to draw our 2 lines in here. I'm going to have W0 of 2 and W1 of 2. Okay? So I believe we all should feel fairly comfortable with that. So let's look at our equation to find our outputs of our FFT. So let's see what our F0 is equal to. F0 is going to be equal to a straight mapping of our A of 0 plus a twiddle factor multiplied by A of 2. And because it's our first sample we're trying to find, our R value is going to be 0. But now that we're working on a 4-point instead of a 2-point, you'll notice that our K value in the bottom is now equal to 4 for our twiddle factors. So going back over here, let's go ahead and fill that in. So f of 0 is going to be a straight mapping of a of 0 with the addition of a of 1, or a of 2 I'm sorry. Oops, here we go. This is going to have a twiddle factor 0, 4. And looking over here for our next equation, f of 1 is going to be a straight mapping of a of 1 plus a twiddle factor 1 of 4. So, sorry, let me look at that again. Of a of 3, I'm sorry. So we'll start over here. We have a straight mapping a of 1. Now we need to add to it from a of 3 our twiddle factor w1 of 4, because we're finding our first sample for our output. Okay, we'll look over here and we'll find f2 is a straight mapping of 2 corresponding to a twiddle factor multiplied by a of 0. So a of 2, straight mapping of a of 2, then we want a line coming down from a of 0. Bang! So twiddle factor is going to be 2 over 4, 4 point, and we're looking for this sample. And the same thing is going to happen for our last sample. It's going to be a straight mapping of our a of 3, then we're going to want to map down our a of 1. We'll also toss in a twiddle factor here, 3 over 4. And that's how you fill out and construct a 4-point FFT flow graph. And as I might have mentioned, this can be done with a 8-stage or 16-stage or any other base 2-stage FFT. We'll just have to break them down into the corresponding amounts of 2 points, 4 points. You can add a 3rd stage over if you need 8, or a 4th stage over for 16, and they'll match up in the same manner. And an interesting note to keep about this is if you actually look back here, if we were looking as if we had binary input for our initial, for our initial x0, 1, 2, 3, if you had a binary number and you plugged it into this FFT, these outputs are actually going to correspond with a direct inverse of our inputs. So our bit 0 here is eventually going to become over here. Our bit 1 is going to be this one, and so forth.